Hello folks, Bronco Bob here with Texas Best Used Motorcycles. Here today to show you a really cool 1965 Plymouth Belvedere. And this is an A990 Tribute Super Stock car. It has been owned by the same two gentlemen. They traded it back and forth twice over the last 30 years. The original gentleman, who's now in his 80s, when he got the car, it had the 426 Super Stock Hemi in it. He had the motor rebuilt with a 472 stroker crankshaft because he wanted it to be more than the stock 426. He also beefed up the transmission, put a stall in it, and changed the shift pattern to a reverse pattern on the Chrysler Torque Flight. It's got headers, also has a motor plate to hold the motor in place. And the car originally was a white car, and he just took it to car shows and various different things. And I asked him about quarter mile times, and he said, well, he was at a car show. It was a nostalgic drag race event, and he just took the car there to show it, and his friends kept egging him on, why don't you go out there and run it? So he went out there, and he said he ran in the 10s in the quarter mile, around 130 miles an hour, and they told him he couldn't bring it back and run it on the track without a roll bar, which it doesn't have. So that was its stint on the drag strip. But if you put a roll bar in it and you did a nice track tune, you probably definitely have a 10-second quarter mile car or thereabouts. It has the correct 4-barrel carburetors, the correct linkage, correct valve covers, the magnesium cross ram intake. And when they did the color change on this car, they literally took the car completely apart. Every nut and bolt. The company that did it was in September 2007, and it's Viper red paint, a place called the Hot Rod Paint, I guess 817 area code, which is here in Texas. There's your trim tag. That'll tell you what the car was born as. But the car's mainly just been in shows. The paint job is very, very slick. There are a few blemishes. On the tops of the fenders, there's a few little bubbles coming up. But you can see like the hinges and just everything is new. It's been stored indoors. He keeps a mixture of race gas and premium fuel in it. You touch the key and it lights right up. He said it will run on premium pump gas, but it likes the C10 mixed in a whole lot better. But like I say, it's just been a show car. It does have a locker in the rear, so it's not something you're going to drive to Dairy Queen. Here's one flaw, kind of a scratch that's in the paint right there that hasn't been touched up. But the A990, to go over it, it was a super lightweight car. It had aluminum door strikers and door latches, Lexan windows, which this one has Lexan here in the quarter glasses and the rear, but the windshield is glass. The seats were just basic Spartan seats with an aluminum frame, no adjustments, just to be real lightweight. The A990s came without a back seat, again, to make them light. No heater, no radio, just a steering wheel and a motor. No power steering, just all motor. But they were designed to come off the showroom and go to the drag races and win in what was called the Super Stock class. And the 426 Hemi, some of you Mopar buffs, when the 426 Hemi came out, it was the one that was new and improved over and above the wedge motor, the Max Wedge, which is a really amazing motor in and of itself. But this car has stood the test of time. It's really been driven very little, mostly hauled around on trailers. And as I mentioned, the paint job was done in 2007. Underneath the car, it's got a very nice exhaust system, but from starting it and moving it, a little bit of There's a few little rust bubbles on the muffler, and one of them's got a little hole in it. So if you wanted to make it perfect, you'd probably put some new Flowmasters on it. I don't know if I can see this from the video here. You can see on the bottom of the muffler, you can see the hole, and that's just from it not getting hot enough. And you can see there's no real discoloration on the exhaust. And as I mentioned, this car doesn't have any time on it. It's just been kind of a show car. It does have some slicks on the back, and in the trunk are the original rims that go with it. It's got a drive shaft loop. You can see that exhaust hadn't got hot enough to even be tempered. Just kind of give you an idea. They even finished the rocker panels on this beautifully. Usually you see a paint job, and from about here down, when you look at it close, it doesn't look this nice. But it's quite the car. It looks like it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Of course, sheep's clothing wouldn't be a 426 Hemi, but it's a 426 Hemi that's punched out to 472. And one thing I noticed on the firewall is a little placard from Don Garlett's High Performance Engines, Ocala, Florida. Those of you that knew Don Garlett's, he was one of the pioneers of drag racing the Hemi, one of the first guys to turn the timing up to 50 degrees, and he won races, and he didn't blow the engines. Kind of amazing read if you get online. But you can see how slick this paint is, and that's my job, is to show you the condition of the car. I've taken pictures underneath. You can see underneath how good it is. The bumpers are good. They're actually a little thinner gauge metal than the stock ones. And again, everything's made to be very, very lightweight. Just bare bones. Let's start it up. It does have I believe that is a line lock for the front. This thing's just amazing. It's got some aftermarket gauges. There's your VIN number. I love the smell of the race fuel. I'm going to just let you hear it. I'm not going to say anything. That's music to my ears. The carpet, the door panels, everything are in excellent shape. He was trying to tell me the name of the guy that built the motor. It was done many years ago. He said the guy was a pretty famous Mopar guy, but he forgot his name. And like I say, he's in his 80s now. But what a cool car. We did just do an oil change, and the oil that was in it was very clear and very clean, but he said it had been in there probably about 3 years. Awesome car. Just instant throttle response. There's about 1,200 RPMs. Be fun to take this car on a track for sure. But check out all of our pictures. We're Texas Best Used Motorcycles right here in Mansfield, Texas. And if you're looking for a super slick, very low hour 426 Hemi, punched, stroked to a 472. And when they do the 472, I don't know if that's just the crankshaft and the same bore, or they may punch the cylinders out just a little bit. But these Hemi engines are cross-bolted and they're very, very durable. Used them for NASCAR racing, drag racing. They were the kings back in the day, and they're very rare. Most of the true A990 cars don't exist anymore because of the nature of the car. They were sold off the showroom as a drag car, then went straight to the drag strip. Many of them got wrecked, got the engines destroyed by not very good drivers. But this is a great example of a classic Belvedere, lightweight with a monster motor. You can take it to vintage drag races, you can take it to car shows, and just have fun with it. And I would love to go drive it, put my foot in it, and do a video, but I'm afraid I'd have to have both hands on the wheel for this one. I'm sure it'd be a handful. But I'm sorry the video's so long, but the car's just an exciting car, and there's a lot to talk about. But thanks for your time. I'm Bronco Bob, wishing you happy trails. Hope to see you in our showroom soon, or we can ship this to you anywhere in the USA, or actually anywhere in the world. We just sold a Roadrunner to a guy in Germany, and the car's being shipped to Germany. So if you're a Mopar nut and you want a bad boy dog dish hubcap, no back seat, basic drag race Belvedere A990 tribute car, give us a call. Have a great day. I'm Bronco Bob, wishing you happy trails.